head down to Death Valley this weekend to battle it out with the Louisiana State Tigers. What to expect and more coming up.
One school debuted their sports complex over the weekend. Extra Point reporter Karen Eisert gives us the inside look at the new facilities.
This week we show you another play that completely dropped our jaw. All of that and more coming up next right here on your Extra Point.
With all the action from around Warren County and your WKU Hilltoppers, this is the Extra Point.
Another week.
Another Extra Point attempt.
And for this go-round, I'm Marcus Browning.
And I'm Katherine Gardner. Let's get kicking.
This weekend, the Hilltoppers traveled down to South Denton, Texas to face off against North Texas in Apogee Stadium. The Heat didn't stop the men in red, though, on Thursday night, and they took the dub for a 55-28 blowout, resulting in their 7th straight Conference USA win. Ace Wells rushed for 194 yards, while Brandon Dowdy had 350 in the air and scored 4 touchdowns. Taywan Taylor led the team with 134 receiving yards. As a team, WKU ran for 283 total yards and 400 passing, compared to North Texas passing for 228. WKU had 683 total offensive yards, while North Texas had 431. Ready to watch the Toppers in action again? This Saturday, you can catch our football team in Baton Rouge as they travel down to take on the LSU Tigers at 6 p.m. sharp on ESPNU. Ace Wells, Taywan Taylor, and Brandon Dowdy. All three had huge games against the Men Green. But one notable absentee was Tyler Higbee. Higbee left Thursday's game during the first quarter with a knee injury that limited him to just 1 catch. WKU Athletic Media Relations released a statement regarding the tight end's injury on Saturday. They stated, quote, an MRI on Friday confirmed tight end Tyler Higbee suffered a knee sprain during the first quarter of the North Texas game. His availability for LSU is doubtful, and he will be classified as a week-to-week going forward with an expectation to return this season, end quote. A knee injury didn't stop Higbee from claiming yet another award this season, though. The WKU tight end was named to the midseason All-American First Team. Higbee was the only tight end named to the list and the only player from a non-Power 5 conference to make the cut. The senior playmaker leads the nation in receiving yards and touchdowns for tight ends. Higbee has helped America's most exciting offense become the 3rd-ranked passing offense in the nation.
One player the Tops are glad to have back at 100% is Ace Wells. Wells missed the first 4 games of this season with a hamstring injury, but since returning from injury, he has been the go-to guy in the Hilltopper backfield. In back-to-back weeks, Ace has racked up over 100 yards rushing. In Wells' 2 full games back from injury, he is averaging 152 yards per game and 7.2 yards per carry. With the loss of running back Leon Allen for the season and freshman DeAndre Furby nicked up, the Tops will lean on Wells heavily on Saturday in Death Valley. Where could those yard totals be coming from for Ace? Brandon Dowdy's yards, maybe? Since Ace's comeback, Dowdy has been throwing for almost 100 yards less than in the 4 games prior to Wells' returning to the field. The troubling thing, Dowdy isn't throwing any fewer passes. Though the first 5 games, number 12 was averaging 38 passing attempts per game. Since Ace made his return, the number is more like 36 or 37. Dowdy will need to bring a big game on Saturday night if the Tops want to leave Baton Rouge with a dub. One man who has not been tamed is Taywan Taylor. Taywan exploded this season, taking himself into the top 5 in the nation in receiving yards. Taywan has been Dowdy's most reliable target outside of Higbee this season and been on the receiving end of 10 touchdowns. Taylor's 825 yards already surpasses his total from last season and puts him on pace to earn over 1,400 receiving yards this season. Taywan will have to continue to bring his A-game to Death Valley at LSU this weekend. And along with Taywan Taylor, Brandon Dowdy has no time to be tamed either. And the offense as a whole needs to be firing on all cylinders this weekend. After a slow first week of the season, the Tops average at least 41 points every game, scoring over 53 times. That being said, Dowdy and the offense currently sit at 6th in the country in total offense, with more than 2/3 of those yards in the air. It will be interesting to see whether the offense will continue to produce at those high of rates against a potent SEC defense. Well, Marcus, it's the game we've both personally been waiting for, the LSU versus WKU down at Death Valley this Saturday. Now, I understand that you're going you're going with the crew. What are you expecting for the Tops to make it a close game and even maybe taking home the win?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a loud game. Death Valley is obviously one of the more prolific college stadiums, and the fans, they always show out, and they are always loud and hungry, and they always want to see the Tigers win, as the Tigers have only lost 3 home games since Les Miles came to LSU in 2005. I think this game is going to be really heavily relied on Brandon Dowdy, solely because, of course, they don't have Tyler Higbee. They don't have Leon Allen. So I think that it's really going to be on Dowdy's shoulders this time.
So speaking of Brandon Dowdy, because he's had a couple of interceptions back-to-back in the last 2 games, if by chance, let's hope not, but if by chance he has an interception against the Tigers, do you think that might rattle him up?
I think it'll definitely rattle him up just a little bit, solely because whenever you're out there and you're the quarterback and you make a mistake, it's going to rattle you. The fans are going to be, like I said, they're going to be there, and they're really going to
harp on him.
Exactly. And so I think, though, a couple of years ago, we saw at Neyland Stadium against Tennessee, Dowdy had interception after interception. And we saw where he was rattled. He was a junior at that time, a true junior, and he was rattled. I think that now, since he's a 6-year senior, he can come into this game, and I think he won't be as affected, and I think he'll play even better. My ultimate prediction, I think that the Tops are going to have a hard time with Fournette, so I think that the Tops are going to lose by 3 touchdowns.
All right. Well, my only question is, how are they going to keep, Fournette from doing his thing? So I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens on the gridiron.
That's exactly right. One of WKU's goals for the football season was to beat 2 out of the 3 Power 5 teams on their schedule. A win against Vandy and a loss to Indiana has made Saturday's clash in Death Valley a must-win to secure that goal. That's easier said than done, though. LSU comes into the game as the undefeated number 5 team in the nation. The Tigers boast the 4th best rushing attack in the nation, but have the nation's leading runner coming out of the backfield. Through 6 games, Leonard Fournette has boasted 1,202 yards on 150 carries. To put that into perspective, last year it took Leon Allen a full year to run for 1,542 yards, and almost twice the number of carries. It's been 4 weeks since WKU traveled up to Bloomington to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, we're not going to revisit that debacle, but there is one thing we want to pull from that game. The Hilltoppers are getting ready to take on the most prolific runner in college football history, or not history, in the game now. Nick Holt's defense surrendered 284 yards on the ground to former UAB running back Jordan Howard in the Week 3 matchup. So far this season, Fournette averages 200 yards on the ground per game while also maintaining 8 yards per carry. For WKU enemy, priority and target number 1 is Fournette.
Having touched on Fournette, that pretty much sums up the LSU offense. Well, with that being said, while the Tops will focus on stopping the run, LSU does throw the ball. Well, kind of. The Tigers through the air this season have 812 yards on 109 attempts through 6 games. On those 800 yards, the Tigers' passing game has only accounted for 6 of their 27 touchdowns on the season. So similar to how Dowdy is the Hilltoppers' largest build player, LSU relies heavily on Fournette and the run game. While the Tigers sit at number 5 in the polls, this Hilltopper team is no slouch itself. The WKU offense set records last season, and they're back out setting them this season. For the first time in program history, the Hilltoppers have received 5 votes to be ranked in this week's coaches poll. As for the AP poll, the Hilltoppers continue to climb, receiving a program-high 11 votes in this week's edition. Both teams look to continue their steady rise, but hey, something has to give in college football.
Tyler Higbee, sir, will you please gingerly stand up and come join us? No, really, can we get your autograph? Okay, there's a point to this. See, Higbee is a semi-unsung hero on the Hilltopper football team. The man is Dowdy's number 1 target. the team's leading receiver, and when things look bleak for the offense, he seems to give them a nice spark. At a moment when it was needed most against Vandy, there was Higbee to scamper 65 yards into enemy territory, giving WKU the momentum and the eventual points needed to win the game. He was there for scores against La Tech, Miami of Ohio, and ending the decades-long streak against Middle. All that being said, things aren't easy for Higbee from here. There are hours of rehab for his knee to make it back out onto the field. But yo, Tyler, make some more room on that trophy case because you, sir, just won our Hero on the Hill.
One volleyball girl continues to impress and bring home the awards. We'll tell you who it is coming up.
And the men's and women's hoops squads hit the Diddle hardwood on the evening for this year's Hilltopper Hysteria. We'll give you the recap next.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back. As the temperature falls, that can only mean one thing. It's time for some basketball. The speakers blared, the banners hung high, meaning basketball was being played in Diddle Arena. Michelle Clark Hurd and Ray Harper stood watch as their teams battled it out for the first time this season on John Oldham Court for Hilltopper Hysteria. Fans young and fans old came to watch the new toppers in the annual event, only adding to the anticipation for the impending season. Despite the new faces, both of the Hilltopper clubs look to have reloaded for another run at Conference USA Championship. The Hilltoppers host Lindsey Wilson on November 2nd for the first exhibition outing, with the Lady Tops hosting a Wichita Baptist on November 3rd. The Lady Toppers look destined for another strong season following this past weekend's Hilltopper Hysteria, and a game that featured the red team defeating the black team. Sophomore Ivy Brown looks prepared for a great season behind a 9.6 rebound performance. Preseason All-Conference USA selection Kendall Noble was able to add 8 points and 5 rebounds for the black team, but it wasn't enough as they fell 35-39.
I thought it was good. I think we had some good moments and some bad moments, but for the first time for everybody to see us, I thought we played pretty well.
A ton of new faces were on display for the Tops as Hilltopper Hysteria kicked off over the weekend. As fans in Diddle Arena witnessed the gray team defeat the red team, it didn't take long for newcomers to get adjusted to the crowd. Willie Carmichael, a transfer from Tennessee, led the gray team with 11 points and 3 rebounds, while JUCO transfer Frederick Edmond led all scorers with 14 points in a losing effort for the red team. Carmichael will have to sit out this season due to transfer rules, but Edmond looks to blend right in with this season's Hilltopper squad.
Our energy level, I believe that we competed with each other, played hard.
you know what I'm saying, the season getting closer here, so we just getting ready. So.
The Stars came out for Hilltopper Hysteria, Shooting Stars that is. The Hilltopper faithful welcomed current and former Hilltoppers to the court to try their luck at completing a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and of course then a half-court shot. The team of Micah Jones, Nigel Snipes, former Lady Topper Veronica Cook Lovan, and maker of the shot Ty Rogers defeated Kendall Noble, Aaron Cosby, and former Hilltopper Mike Wells, as well as recent grad Alexis Govan to take home the prize.
It just wouldn't be hysteria if things didn't get a little crazy. And the dunk contest certainly provided that. After Justin Johnson got eliminated in the first round, it was between two newcomers, Willie Carmichael and Frederick Edmonds. Willie started things off throwing down this monster 360 jam, but Fred followed up with a cockback punctuation mark of his own. But this was the dunk of the night. CHD centered in the lane, and what does Edmonds do? Jumps over him and throws it down with some emphasis. Edmonds would win the contest with that dunk, capturing his first crown as a Hilltopper. WKU volleyball remains undefeated in conference play after outlasting North Texas in 5 sets. The number 22 ranked Toppers extended their winning streak to 15 matches Sunday. They delivered a widespread offensive attack that saw 5 Lady Toppers record double-digit kills, with Alyssa Kavanaugh leading the pack with 16. WKU recorded 65 kills total as a team. The team returns home to EA Diddle Arena this Friday to face UAB. First serve is set for 7 p.m. The week before Hudson's Army battled it out with North Texas, the ladies were busy recording their 12th sweep of the year against Charlotte. After securing the first set, WKU struggled as Charlotte raced out to a 9-2 lead to start the second set. The Lady Toppers fought to recover and finished on a 19-10 run to beat the home team for the second stanza. The third set, while close, saw the Toppers prevail, adding yet another victory to their 14-match winning streak. Taking home another dub from the weekend against the once undefeated Mean Green of North Texas, the 22nd ranked WKU volleyball team holds a well-earned 15-game winning streak. The Lady Toppers are also sitting pretty at the top of Conference USA with an undefeated record of 8-0. The last time Western took a loss was on September 11th against Missouri State, 2-3. Some big names the Lady Tops took the win from would be Wisconsin, Southern Illinois during tournament play on their own court, by the way, along with the Crimson Tide, Alabama. They play against UAB at 7 at home this Friday.
Sophomore Lady Topper Jessica Lucas collected her 5th Conference USA Setter of the Week honor for her WKU career on Monday. Lucas took the team reins to lead a 2-0 record over the weekend to up their winning streak to 15 matches after taking out North Texas and Charlotte. Against the Mean Green, Lucas tallied a career best of 56 assists along with 11 digs and 2 blocks. For the Charlotte game, she racked up 43 assists, 5 digs, 2 kills, and 3 blocks. Lucas leads Conference USA and is ranked 34th in the nation with an average of 11.02 assists per set. As far as Western records, she ranks as number 8 with 2,242 total assists. And did I mention she's only a sophomore? The volleyball team weren't the only Lady Tops in action last week. The soccer team went 2-0 as well. FIU came to a chilly WKU soccer complex on Friday evening, a scrappy game overall. Both teams struggled to maintain offensive pressure all game, with the only goal coming for the Tops in the second overtime. More to come on that later. A win Sunday at Charlotte was a much different story. A back-and-forth match saw the Lady Tops come away with the 3-1 win despite being outshot overall.
Warren County High School football had quite the successful weekend last Friday. See who brought home the dubs coming up.
Extra Point reporter Karen Eisert sat down with one Warren County athletic director to talk about their new facilities. Find out who next.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Fall sports already kicked off, but for Warren Central Athletics, their football season had just begun on their own turf.
Warren Central High School is just one of 2 schools who are receiving new sporting facilities.
The Warren County School Board, this was part of the facilities plan, us and Warren East both, for the athletic facilities, and so you have to the state requires school board. This was part of the facilities plan.
And on Friday night, fans packed the Dragons' new stadium to watch the first home game of the season.
I think that we had a good turnout. I think a lot of people were interested in it, and I'm really pleased with the way everything's turned out.
Even some fans have positive things to say about the new renovations.
I think it's going to be wonderful. It's work in the making, but the whole facility is going to be beautiful. When it's complete, I'm real proud of it. I know all the people in this side of town is real proud of it.
This $6.4 million project is just the beginning of new renovations for the football, soccer, softball, baseball, and tennis teams.
If you go out to the field, you can see it's lined for soccer. So football and soccer will share that space. New field house is about double the size. It'll have a locker room for girls and boys soccer to use in the fall and track to use in the spring, as well as football. And if you go up to the top of the hill, the baseball, softball fields are being completely redone.
Along with the new stadium, the team also got to walk out on the only turf field in Warren County. The athletic director sees nothing but positives.
I love it for a lot of reasons. It's durable. You know, if you look at most fields, by the time October, November rolls around, they're worn out. They become mud pits.
The new stadium may bring change to Warren Central athletics.
It is an interesting time for sports in the United States. If you look at the numbers, they are on the decline for a lot of reasons. But I think this will help us as far as having facilities that people can be proud of.
And right here, this is just the kickoff to Warren Central's $6.4 million sporting complex renovation. And there's still some work to be done here. Reporting for The Extra Point, I'm Karen Isert.
Thanks, Karen. Okay. I'll give you one hint. This week's Jaw Dropper is quite the football play. Find out what coming up.
Speaking of football, we've got the highlights from Warren County's gridiron action up next.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky,
but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
The Warren East Raiders traveled across town to Warren Central, looking for just their second win on the season. Warren Central opened their new stadium with a struggle against East. Neither team did a good job protecting the ball, making for a scrappy affair. Both teams combined for 3 interceptions, and all 3 of Central's touchdowns were on the ground. By the end of the night, Warren Central Kristen Joe Hood fielded with a 23-12 victory. Bowling Green High School's high-powered offense dominated Barron County's last Friday. Junior quarterback Clark Payne threw 13 completions, totaling 213 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Senior receiver Jacob Yates also had a great performance, leading the Purple in pass receptions and rushing yards. Bowling Green walks away 7-1 to play a conference tournament at Greenfield next Friday. The Greenwood High School Gators faced the Grayson County Cougars this past week underneath the Friday night lights. The Gators breezed past the Cougars 54-14 on their own stomping ground, improving to 7-1. Quarterback Jackson Adams, who is just a sophomore, rushed 146 yards, scoring a touchdown. Junior strong safety Malcolm Johnson had an interception and 14 total tackles, 9 solo and 5 assisted. Tomorrow, Greenwood faces Bowling Green High School on home turf for the last time this season at 7 p.m.
The biggest Build football game of the season was, we won't say it. Okay, the rematch of the Deflategate. Let's go out to Lucas Oil Stadium. Colton garbage time was at 6, but just when Adam Vinatieri goes back to boot at the extra point, Jamie Collins of the Patriots hurdles to center and blocks it. Yeah, Cam Chancellor, move over. Jamie Collins is the new bad man in the town. This play and the Patriots' redemptive win dropped their jaw this week.
Well, you know, Marcus, we've been talking football, okay? So I want to talk about WKU basketball. So I understood you went to Hilltopper Hysteria yourself. What did you see there?
I was actually really impressed, especially by the men's team, of how good they are. We always knew that the girls' team was going to reload because Michelle Carr just does something with that with her program. She recruits so well that she's able to get those recruits coming in. But one thing for the men's team is how athletic they are. Whenever you lose George Fant and TJ Price and Trincy Jackson, 3 seniors that really compiled this offense, and then you add a guy like Frederick Edmonds, who you saw had that awesome dunk.
Dunk championship right there.
Dunk championship, and I tell you what, Justin Johnson wasn't far behind. And of course, the one thing about this this team is Willie Carmichael. I wish that he was going to be able to play, because if he was, I could really see the Tops going forth and getting a CUSA championship. But Frederick Edmonds is going to be an awesome piece, and he's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year.
Sounds good to me, Marcus. Well, that's all the time we have tonight.
Thank you for joining us, and as always,
the kick is up, and it is good.
Woo! Yeehaw!